Good evening. The Middle East is bracing for further escalation tonight after Israel carried out a 3-hour attack on Iranian soil. It follows a series of threats and retaliations by each side in a major ramping up of tensions over the past year, and was in retaliation for Iran's strike earlier this month, which was the largest ballistic missile attack on Israel in its history. Iranian state television reported explosions in 3 locations around the capital, Tehran, as well as at military bases further southwest in Khuzestan and Ilam provinces. Reporter Claudia Farhad has returned from Israel after covering the October 7 anniversary and has been following developments. Good evening, Claudia. What more can you tell us?
Catalina, so far both sides have given us very few firm details. Israel says dozens of fighter jets participated in an operation called Days of Repentance. It's still unclear exactly what they struck. Israel says it targeted missile manufacturing facilities, but Iran says those attacks were successfully intercepted. It's also still unclear how much damage, if any, they caused. The Iranian capital woken by explosions. The attacks beginning just after 2:30 a.m. local time and lasting right through the night.
Minutes ago, several powerful explosions have been heard near Tehran. The origin of the sound is not known yet.
But after weeks of threats from Israel, there was little real doubt. Before long, the IDF confirming it had begun its retaliation and releasing these images of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu personally overseeing it.
The Israel Defense Forces is conducting precise strikes on military targets in Iran. The regime in Iran and its proxies in the region have been relentlessly attacking Israel since October 7th on 7 fronts, including direct attacks from Iranian soil.
Israeli sources telling US media the strikes came in 3 waves and targeted around 20 sites. Iranian state media downplaying the attacks, saying these explosions were just Iran's air defence systems activating and that Israel's attacks failed to cause any real damage. As people posted videos online, mockingly searching for missiles. But the Fars news agency, which has close links to the Revolutionary Guard Corps, reported some military bases in the capital had been targeted. Israel had been threatening retaliation since the start of this month, when Iran launched a barrage of about 180 ballistic and cruise missiles at Israel. That, Iran said, in retaliation for the killings of Hezbollah Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah in Beirut and Hamas political chief Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran. Enemies for decades, Israel and Iran had never claimed responsibility for direct attacks on each other's soil until earlier this year. Strikes by Iran in retaliation for the attack on its consulate in Damascus, widely blamed on Israel. And Israel's retaliation 5 days later, ending 40 years of status quo. Fears of a wider regional war have been steadily rising ever since. Just hours before today's attacks, US Central Command announcing it had deployed F-16 fighter jets to the Middle East, although not specifying where. Today, US officials telling media Washington was not involved in the attack, but was briefed just before it began. A National Security Council spokesperson saying, "We understand that Israel is conducting targeted strikes against military targets in Iran as an exercise of self-defense." By 6 in the morning, Israel confirmed the strikes were over. Whether there will be more to come, it says, is up to Iran.
If the regime in Iran were to make the mistake of beginning a new round of escalation, we will be obligated to respond.
This morning, an uneasy calm returning to Tehran. The question now, whether it will last. We knew this attack was coming, but what comes next is less clear. US officials are saying this should be the end of this direct exchange of fire between Israel and Iran, but that if Iran chooses to respond, Washington will defend Israel, reaffirming what it calls that ironclad commitment to Israel's security. So the US sees this as even now, today's attack in response to Iran's attack earlier this month, 1 for 1. Iran sees it differently. To Tehran, that attack on October 1 was warranted in retaliation for the killings of Hamas and Hezbollah leaders. And Tehran has said all along that if Israel were to strike back, it would attack Israel again. But there are a few signs that neither side wants this to spiral out of control. One being the reports in Iranian state media today that Israel's attacks only caused limited damage. So by downplaying the attacks, it could be setting the stage for a smaller response. And the other is that so far, it appears Israel did comply with Washington's requests not to target Iran's nuclear sites or oil fields. Catalina, striking either would have paved the way for a major escalation. It now depends on how Iran chooses to respond.
Claudia Farhad, thank you for the very latest.